Hey Rosebuds, thanks for joining me today. I knew it was just a matter of time, and I also knew that I would put a video together for you when it happened, but I found RRD in my yard today. Rose Rosette Disease is something that many of you are familiar with. We've done fundraisers to support Rose Rosette Disease research, and I think the Rose Geeks page has put together, I don't know, $12,000 to support the research. I've done a video on Rose Rosette Disease with Dr. Mark Wyndham, and if you're looking for more information, make sure you check that out. It's very informative, and it'll be in the body of this video with all the details, how to support me. You'll see that link on that video, and I hope that you'll check that out. Let's see. So, what is Rose Rosette Disease? Real quick, Rose Rosette Disease is a microscopic mite that travels in the wind. Look how windy it is today. And so, why did it have to be today that I found it? And I'm so worried about, the wind transferring the mites even further, but it is what it is. I think that the mites traveled from across the river, 4 miles plus across in the wind, because nobody else is growing roses in my neighborhood, just me. So that's where it had to come from. We also know, or we think, that it really should present after the first flush in June. It's October, and I check my roses every day, and I'm just seeing the witch's broom today. So I must have got it maybe last week, and with the new growth today is why I'm seeing it. What does it look like? I'm going to get closer and show you, but typically you're going to have just distorted growth that you're used to seeing your rose, and something just looks a little bit different or off. With new normal growth, it's red, but the leaves have a very common, typical rose shape leaf. In this case, my leaves are orangey red, not the typical maroon dark red, and they're strapped. They're a little bit, starting to have that longer look to it. The new canes that are coming out of the existing cane are a little bit thicker. The thorns look a little bit weird, and the blooms are distorted, odd looking, not typical. And finally, it has witch's broom, where out of one cane, it's just a ton of canes coming out of it. And that's what caught my eye when I walked around today. So many of you, over the past years, you would send me your pictures. I've never had it, but I was very familiar with it through the research and just doing a lot of reading online and looking at your pictures. And so you've asked me if it was my garden, what I would do in the case of these roses. I knew that you can't just cut the distorted portion off of the rose because the mites are microscopic and they're traveling down. So I already had a game plan in place. I knew that if I had Rose Rosette Disease, I would cut down every rose in this God-forsaken garden. I'm going to do everything here on the waterfront side, and then after I'm done with this, start working my way towards the front of the yard. It's just not worth waiting even one day longer to see, can I just take out this one rose and not the others? It is not worth the stress, the $30 that you spent, the $80 that you spent, the however much, to leave it in your yard and be stressing about it, and then also to take the risk that you're going to be spreading it not only to your garden, but to every garden. And there's no way to save the rose. You just can't. But the rose clippers, because they're mites and they're sticking so fiercely to the rose, they're not going to get on your clippers as you're cutting. They're not going to get on your shovel as you dig this baby out. So you don't need to clean your tools after every rose, but there's no reason not to be safe. At the end of your project, cutting everybody, go ahead and give everything a wash down, but they'll be fine. So let's think, is there anything else that I need to share with you? I'm cutting these down to knee high. That is not how I typically would recommend taking care of our roses in the fall. I've done a video. If you're looking for just normal fall care for your roses, we cut to waist high. We leave that extra 2.5 foot of growth to get through the winter. You just want to cut it down so that they're not thrashing the canes in the wind. So it's only waist high, and then we take them down to knee or calf in the spring after we see if we have any dieback. It's not worth it for me to even leave them at waist high. I want to be very aggressive. I'm taking them down to knees or calves. I am throwing the canes out of the bed, not leaving anything, and then I'm going to bag them up and take them to the dump. Do not compost your canes that have mites. Do not try to save these canes. Do not try to propagate a rose that you love. It will have the mites. Trust me, do not do it. Oh, you guys, I'm sad, but there's more important things to be worried about in life than Rose Rosette disease, and what an adventure just to see what happens next. So let's go ahead and get close to this rose. I'm going to take you around really quick so you can just see today's project, how many roses I'm taking down, and I will count them at the end so you know how many I had to cut. And it's first thing in the morning, so I've got all day to take care of this. So let's get close and I'll show you this rose. Okay, so you can see, I mean, I've got a lot of height out here at the roses that are at the waterfront, and there's probably 40 roses there, but let's take a quick peek around here. You can see, turning slowly, slowly, slowly. These are all new beds that I put in around the front. Let's go around this side first where I can show you the Rose Rosette Disease. You can see I was planning on, that's a one-time bloomer, and I was planning on tying that back this week, but that's not going to happen. It is going to get completely cut back, and I will not have blooms in the spring, but I'm okay with that. Oh gosh. All right, so you know, you can see everything's getting kind of tired, but the roses are still going. Here is my Rose Rosette Disease rose. You can see the rust colored color. Oh gosh, even, oh, so gross. You can see how the leaves are just not, they're strappy. They're getting long. This is called witch's broom when there's a ton of growth coming out of one cane. Look at the very hyperthorny thorns there. Let's see, it has blooms that do not look like the original. They're freaking out. They do not know how to deal with these mites, and this is the way of letting us know. See the thorns. This is a normal bloom. This is a not normal. Look at that. I mean, it's just crazy. So strapped, hyperthorny, proliferation, red, but it looks like if I gave this time, it's going to try to turn green on me. This is normal growth here. I want to show this to you. Do you see it is not hyperthorny? It's just got, you know, one cane on each side, and it's still red growth, but it's burgundy. It's different. It's not a rust color. So let's continue looking around real quick. So you can see everything that's getting cut back. I'm going to use my KebTech to make it easier on my hands. That's an electric trimmer, but you just have to be very careful. I'm also probably going to get a little mini chainsaw out here and use that also just to help me get through this as quick as possible. Look at all these roses. Oh, it's going to look a lot different at the end of the day. Let's go around to the other side here. So this is where I'm going to focus today. You know, I had other plans in the garden, weeding, trying to bring in mulch because I'm just so depressed about how everything just looks at the end of the summer. But I am going to bring in, that will definitely pick up my spirits when I'm done with all of this trim back is just to bring in mulch and then dream about spring and how everything is going to look in the spring. Oh, I'm also going to use this opportunity while I'm in here and I get everything cut back to be able to see very good with my weeding, to move things that are in the wrong place, get rid of roses that are not performing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is the day after demo, and you can see we even cut back the hydrangea. I just went nuts in here. I left my climbers just because it was a chance I'm willing to take just with those climbers. But here you can see that with help, it took one day. We cut back everything here on the waterfront side, and I've got a special thank you for my parents coming down and spending all day out here with me, and then also my good friend Bobby. She drove over and helped me. But this is the area that the affected rose was. You can see all of the labels, and so what I did was I just made a tough call and I took out every rose that was around it. And you know what? It wasn't even a tough call because they were not roses that were making me happy. So I took all of those roses out, and then while I was in here, I just started taking out all of the roses that were not performing for me. And I've got a lot more that I'm going to take out. This is going to probably be a few bliss because she's just so awesome. And then I think I'm going to start bringing in azalea. I need to bring in other plants to diversify because I've just got so many roses and I know which ones I like and which ones I don't. So, you know, I'm going to have a lot of fun shopping also. You can see the boleros, they were already at, you know, a low height there. So I just left them. And here we are down at the water. I am going to clean the beds and take out dead wood and just really enjoy being out here. It's nice, cool weather. So in the event that you have found RRD, it is not the end of the garden. You just have to take out the rose and keep going and then dream about what you're going to plant there. Oh, and you can plant immediately. You don't have to wait. It's not like gall, and you don't have to solarize the soil or anything like that. You can plant right away. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.